Good morning, third graders. Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about the recorder, which is the instrument that I gave you in class a few days last week. And as you can see, I have an example here of the recorder. Mine is a green recorder, although you may have one that is red or blue or purple. I gave out many colors. Our recorder, the one I gave you, is one solid piece of plastic, although there are recorders that come in three different parts, such as the head joint part, the body of the recorder, and then the part down here, which is the foot joint of the recorder. So since ours is one piece of solid plastic, we don't really have to worry about putting it together, which is nice. Although if you ever do have a three-part recorder, you're going to want to make sure that the holes are lined up in the front. You'll notice there's also one hole in the back. There's only one hole in the back, that's not a mistake, and there are 7 holes in the front. The bottom 2 holes have 2 holes on each, so there are 2 tiny holes on each of those. The recorder is a member of the woodwind family in the orchestra. Other members of the woodwind family are the clarinet, the oboe, the piccolo, the bassoon, saxophone, and the recorder family. Now, some woodwind instruments use a reed to play. It's a thin piece of wood. Ours does not need a reed. We just need to use air. So that's part of the reason it's in the woodwind family, is we use our air to produce sound in this instrument. And today we are going to learn one note. We're going to learn the letter B, which is the third note on our staff. It's the third line on our staff, I should say. So if you count up E, G, B, third line on the staff. I always tell my beginning third graders to remember to put on their recorder hat. You want to think about H-A-T. H stands for hands, A stands for air, and T stands for tongue. They are the 3 things you need to remember when it comes to playing the recorder. And if you follow all these 3 things, you're going to sound pretty good, even if you're a beginner. So our first note, letter B, to start off, we're going to talk about the H part, which is the hands. I'm going to play with my left hand on top. This is my left hand, and you need to focus on your left hand being on top as well. This is the thumb on my left hand, and this is the index finger on my left hand. They're the 2 fingers that you need for this. The thumb, you want to make sure you go for the flat part of your thumb, the part that is a little bit puffy, not the very tip. That won't work. So you're going to use the flat, puffy part, and you're going to cover the back hole with your thumb. You don't want to press too hard, but you should cover the hole really well and make sure no air is able to squeak out. Next, you're going to want to put your first finger down on the first hole, and it should look like this. So you have first finger, index finger rather, and your thumb. The right hand is just going to go down here and support the recorder. Okay, so now you have proper position. You don't want to hold it out like this. You want to have it more at an angle like that. Okay, that's appropriate. So there are your hands. That's the H part of hat. The second thing you want to think about is the air, and I would argue that this is the most important part of the recorder hat that you need to remember. Air, when people think about playing an instrument for the first time especially, they always blow way too hard and it doesn't sound very good, especially a recorder. It squeaks a lot, it has a very high-pitched sound. So you want to think about scaling back your air and using as little as possible. I'm talking barely breathing into the recorder, barely breathing. You also don't want to put a lot of the recorder into your mouth, in the mouthpiece. It's just the very tip. The third thing you want to think about is the tongue. And that is just to make a clear accented sound every time we play a new note. For example, if we play the rhythm, if we play 4 quarter notes in a row, it would be ta, 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 ta. Instead of saying our rhythm syllables, you're going to say the word do every time you have a new sound. So it would sound do, 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 do. You can feel when you say do that the top of your mouth is being hit by your tongue. Do, do. And that helps stop the sound when you're playing recorder and start the next note cleanly. So the rhythm we're going to play today is ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Let's see what that sounds like with our thumb, first finger, thinking about our air, and making sure we say do's. Here's an example. Now I'd like you to take some time to practice now, and when you come into class, I expect you to be ready to play letter B in lots of different rhythms. Make sure you keep saying those do's. Practice and good luck.